Hello, wrestling fans. Welcome to episode 215 of the We Can't Wrestle podcast. Nate Maxon, your host, here with you. And, the four horsemen of the We Can't Wrestle podcast are here. Myself, Senior Archie Mitchell.
Hola.
My brother Aaron.
Hello.
And the Southern Frightmare, Mark Brew, is here.
Is this where we cue the helicopter?
Yes.
So you'd be Ric Flair, Nate, because you're the leader.
Right.
No wonder his camera's
Ole.
off.
Archie's
I'm
Ole
off.
Anderson.
I'll take being Ole. Yeah, he was the meanest of the bunch, yeah.
Yeah. Mark, you're Arn.
I'd rather be Arn.
No.
I'd
you're
rather
Flair.
be Arn. I want to be a lovable teddy bear, and I can pull off a fedora. You know.
Yeah, but you're not a hillbilly.
I don't mean to toot my own horn, but
Damn it,
obviously
y'all.
I'd be Tully because nobody liked him, and other than the guys he was in the group with.
I was going to ask, are you Tully or are you Barry? I wasn't, you know what I mean? But either way.
We're going with the originals. I'm Tully.
Okay.
I like a bigger girl. He likes a bigger
Archie
dirty built broad.
Archie, apparently you're crotchety if you're Ole.
Right.
Bertha Faye's waiting in Gorilla for Aaron.
Oh no.
Not that sturdy. Jesus. Also like black girls.
Well,
But
we got what was her name with Dusty? We got Sapphire.
Sapphire.
Too, yeah.
I'm thinking more Dark Journey.
Yeah, I was thinking
I'm
Dark
going
Journey.
I'm going more Dark Journey.
Okay. Is it
This
just
week-
me or did Dark Journey look like Ronnie Garvin in drag?
That's Miss Atlanta Lively.
Oh, is that what it was?
That literally was Ronnie Garvin in drag.
I know.
and he was supposedly Flair was supposed to hook it up with Baby Doll, not Dark Journey.
Well,
Right.
this week on the show, we are going to begin
I would have had to dress up Rocky King.
We're going to begin a journey through a PWI 500. Last year, we did the inaugural PWI 500 from 1991. This year, we're going back 30 years. The PWI 500 from 1994. This is going to be
12.
fun. And much like last time around, each episode we'll just record for about 90 minutes. We'll see how far we get. And last time it wound up being a 10-episode series, so we'll see what it does this time. Back to 1994, and like I told the guys before we went on the air, I haven't looked at this probably since whenever I acquired it many years ago. And so I haven't looked through. I don't know who's number one. I don't remember who's number one from back in the day. I can tell you on the cover, Hulk Hogan and Bret Hart are on the cover. But here we go.
Should we all take a guess who we think number one is going to be? So this way when we get there, we can see who's right.
94 PWI. Yeah. PWI 94. I'm going to guess Bret.
I'm going to say Hogan because he was
okay.
WCW.
Yes. And this is actually the other thing on the cover here. It's the PWI 500 ranking the top 500 men in wrestling today. It's got Bret and Hogan on the cover. And then up in the left-hand corner, Hulk wins WCW title. Details inside.
Right.
So,
Mark, who do you think it's going to be?
It's always Sid Vicious, baby.
Oh.
He wasn't even anywhere in 94.
Right. What about you, Aaron?
I'm gonna say just off 94 and the run he had, it's gonna be Bret.
Okay.
Well, we'll get there in a few weeks.
Right.
So let's start. Let's get it started. Number 500 in 1994 in the PWI 500, a guy that we've talked about quite a bit on Reliving the Extreme, Don E. Allen.
I thought you were going to say Chad Austin.
Yeah, I thought you were. Yeah, I was like,
Chad never made the 500.
He was 501.
Yeah.
The devious one wrestles in ECW, but rarely has anything to show for it. Invariably outmuscled by opponents. In some ways, a Mikey Whipwreck without the breaks. And yeah, you're right, Aaron. Chad never made the PWI 500, which how crazy is that with some of the names that did make it? But Donnie Allen, I thought Donnie Allen was a good job guy, you know?
Yeah. You 911 always choke slam the shit out of him. You know what I mean? So yeah, he'd always be the guy at the top of the ECW episode being destroyed by somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And he made sure. Sorry, Nate.
No, that's okay.
I was gonna say like that Donnie Allen thing, like he bit, and then he got a couple years out of it. I mean, he was willing to just do whatever. It's like, oh, you want 911 to choke slam me? Sure, I don't give a fuck.
Right.
$40, I'll take a choke slam. You know.
You want the Eliminators to hit me with total elimination 3 times? Go for it.
Yeah. Number 499, Max Crimson.
That name sounds so familiar.
Native of New Orleans is the quintessential rule breaker. The Outlaw competes in Pennsylvania, but 32 states have supposedly banned him due to his brutality. No technical skills whatsoever.
I love that bio.
In other words, 32 states don't want to book this guy.
Right.
Yeah.
He has no wrestling ability whatsoever.
Won't work for hot dogs.
Just the handshake.
Oh, I keep forgetting to read they have the stats beside their name too. I'll do that too. But yeah, Max Crimson, I don't know. I mean, I know you said you've heard the name, Archie. It's probably because there's probably been like 40 Max Crimsons in wrestling.
Right.
It's like one of those generic wrestling names, you know. They usually come out to a Poison song, probably.
I know I've seen that name in the back of a PWI when they did like the little indie barbs, you know what I mean, during an ECWA show or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
So.
I think he teamed with John Clover.
Who did
he team with John Clover?
John Clover.
They didn't even bother to put a fucking picture up here.
Mm-hmm. Because the name jumped from guy to guy.
He teamed with John Clover. They came out to Crimson and Clover.
Good. I like it.
Crimson and Clover will never be over.
That's good.
They feuded with Ebony and Ivory. Number 498. Another one I don't know. Vinny Biondo. 5'10", 338 pounds. 3 years pro. Competes in IWCCW, other Mid-Atlantic federations. Wins many reverse decisions. Claims to leave horses' heads in referees' beds. I like that. At his size,
you said he was 5'8"?
5'10", and 338 pounds.
God, those were Shetland ponies. Those wasn't full-size horses.
I just like the, I actually like that. I leave horses' heads in referees' beds. I dig that. That's cool. I like that.
So
Biondo.
He wins by reverse decision. So basically, his opponents are beating the crap out of him so bad the refs are disqualifying them after the match.
Right. I don't know. I don't know how to take that one.
Right.
Come out here, Commissioner. Reverse this.
Or you'll sleep with the fishes.
Yeah.
Wait, is that secretly Archie? Look at his name. It says Pony Killer. 2 and 2, baby. 2 and 2.
Yep. There you go.
Number 497, Mean Mike. He's 5'11", 231 pounds, 8 years pro, obnoxious loudmouth radio and TV host in Miami, native of Charlotte, North Carolina, a Rush Limbaugh type, but his wrestling talent isn't on loan from God, doesn't endorse orange juice either. I don't have any idea who Mean Mike is.
He's not part of disorderly conduct, is he?
No, it's not that guy.
Yeah, I was wondering if it was him too.
Yep, no idea. No idea.
The only Mean Mike I've ever even cared about was Mean Mike.
Mike Moran?
I don't think it's Mike Moran.
He's just had some ham bone radio show, probably.
I mean, it says he began his in-ring career in '82, end of in-ring career 2013. That could possibly be him.
Maybe because I mean, it's-
Mark's delving way too much into these ham bones
he-
at the
he's,
beginning.
he's our Mike Tenay. He's Mark
Yeah.
Tenay. Come on. Number 496, Mr. Wright. That's RIGHT. 5'11", 220, 3 years pro. Excellent amateur background. Says he's the right guy for every girl. Competes in Florida-based hardcore pro wrestling and has teamed with J.R. James. Billed is hailing from Right Now.
Right Now. I like that.
Yeah.
Right Now. I wonder if he comes out to Right Now by Van Halen.
No, he probably comes out to
Probably.
Dr. Feelgood.
No,
You know,
he
with
comes out
somebody,
to the right stuff. He comes out to the right stuff.
The right stuff might work, yeah.
Well, evidently he worked ECW in '97.
What?
It's not.
Well, we haven't
That's
got-
not Lance Wright. Is it Lance Wright?
So when you type in
It's not
Mr.
Lance
Wright,
Wright. Lance Wright was never a worker.
Yeah, he didn't wrestle.
You're looking
he
at the
did.
wrong guy.
He did, but he
No,
didn't.
Lance Wright didn't wrestle.
I know I saw him wrestle one match. Not in ECW, but I know he wrestled
He
one
was,
match.
okay, he wasn't a worker.
No, that's what I'm saying. He would
Eugene
definitely
Oakland
work.
wrestled a match too, but he wasn't a fucking worker.
No, exactly.
You're looking up the wrong guy, Mark.
oh well, then Rob Wright, I'm assuming.
Huh?
I don't know. There's too many people that use the same fucking moniker.
I pictured this guy
That's
coming
wrestling,
out.
bro.
I pictured this guy coming out in like a suit and tie with sunglasses to, like Aaron said, to like either the right stuff or like Tina Turner, you're simply the best. You know what I mean? And he gets on the mic cutting this real cheesy promo. You know.
Both wrong. It was ZZ Top, Sharp Dressed Man.
There you go. That works too. That works too.
I can't. Aaron said Right Stuff. I can't think of Right Stuff by the New Kids on the Block without thinking of the Weird Al promo, the Weird Al
White
parody. I got the white stuff in the middle of an Oreo. All right.
The white stuff.
Number 495 is Bob the Butcher.
You can rub
Yes.
it on your roast, spread it on your toast. Sorry. Who is this guy?
Bob the Butcher. 6'4", 6'4", 410 pounds, 5 years pro. Need a good side of beef? You can call on this former cattle farmer and meat cutter. The brawler actually uses some of those tools while wrestling. Won the Texas Tag Team title with his brother Billy. So it's not just like an Abdullah the Butcher kind of character. This guy is actually a butcher.
The butcher.
Fun fact. There's also a serial killer with that same name.
Oh my.
I wonder if you knew that going in.
Well, I'm just saying, yeah, next year this guy's not on the 500. Was arrested
Yeah,
by
might be
police
him.
for
Yeah, it's probably him.
Known for killing his fans after writing an autograph.
that's his
Episode
his,
7.
Dark Side of the Ring. Bob the Butcher.
Season 6, Episode 7 of Criminal Minds was based on this man.
Bob the Butcher. All right. Number 494 is Super Key number 2. 5'11", 195 pounds, 2 years pro.
I'm going to make a prediction before you go any further.
Okay.
Super Key number 1 is not in the 500 probably, because there is no number 1. There always is never a number 1, but there's a number 2.
He's Super Key number 2?
Super Key number 2. Competing in Motor City Wrestling. Competing in Motor City Wrestling after turning pro in Japan. Asian star respected for his natural athleticism. Slightly bigger and stronger than Super Key 1. They work well together.
Honorable mention.
I'm just saying, I'm willing to believe Super Key number 1 will not be in the 500.
But I've never heard of the Super
tag team. Their feminine tag team partner is The Lock.
And their finishing move is called the Lockdown.
Number 493 Killer. Yep, that's it. Killer.
Killer?
6 foot, just Killer. 6 foot, 255, 9 years pro. Sadistic. Partner of fellow Masked Man Psycho in the Texas Hangmen tag team. I think we talked about these guys last year.
Yeah, we've talked about them.
Underrated if brutal duo, has won the WWC and USWA tag titles, currently in the Midwest Independents. So yeah, we've definitely talked about these guys in the 91 500.
Yeah, they were the generic looking guys with like the white skull. It looked like it was like an iron-on mask, I think.
Yeah,
You know what
they
I'm
might
talking
have actually been on one of those Puerto Rico shows we reviewed, weren't they?
Probably. And I'm sure they probably were on like a WCW Saturday night that I remember.
I think when we talked about them last, I asked if this was Tex Slazenger and Shanghai Pierce, or AKA the Godwins, before they came to WCW, and it's not, because they had that same generic look when they first debuted. You know,
They had the same damn tag team name also.
Yeah.
Yeah, there've been so many Texas Hangmen though in wrestling.
Right.
Like that's got to be one of the 5 most used gimmicks of all time.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Pair of chaps, a vest, and a cowboy hat, and you're a Texas Hangman.
Which the only real one was Bruce Probance.
Bruce Probance, what a fucking idiot. 492. Sorry, Archie. It's Super Key number 1.
Damn it.
5'7".
Wrong, Mitchell.
5'7", 191. 2 years pro. Half of Mysterious Masked Asian Tag Team starring in Motor City Wrestling. From Singapore, but no expert at caning matches. Or no expert, I'm sorry, at caning matches. 1992 MCW Rookie of the Year. Raised in Japan.
That would have been a good tag.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say these guys aren't Japanese.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing, Aaron. I was gonna say the same thing.
There's an ink.
2 white dudes under a mask.
Yeah.
2 white dudes under a mask.
We're gonna say they're from Japan. It works.
And neither one of them have a tan.
Right.
Feel like me and Mark under a mask.
They're led to the ring.
Like
They're led to the ring.
Gato.
Super key.
Mark's like
ones.
Doriomo Gato, Mr. Roboto. I'll shut up. Sorry.
I was just gonna say they're Super Key 1 and Super Key 2 are led to the ring by their father's skeleton.
Nice.
I'm starting to believe they're talking about different kind of keys here.
Yeah.
There's an inkling for that.
They're actually from Cuba, Mark.
Number 491, and I'm gonna do the whole this is fucking stupid on this one, okay?
Okay.
So number 491 is Billy the Butcher.
Okay.
6'5", 310 pounds, 5 years pro. Mobile, Alabama's version of Abdullah, almost but not quite. Knows many holds capable of permanently disabling an opponent. Won the Texas Tag Team title with his brother Bob, impervious to pain. So here's my thing. Earlier on we had Bob the Butcher, and now this is Billy the Butcher, and they're brothers. Does that mean their last name is the Butcher?
Right.
Like, what a stupid gimmick that is.
They got a nephew somewhere named Billy Bob the Butcher.
Right.
Cletus the Butcher.
No, that's his daddy. He named his son after his 2 brothers.
It's like when AWF was like, oh, Jeff Gaylord and the Warlord, the Lord Brothers.
The Lord Brothers. Yeah. Fucking stupid.
So Jeff's name is Jeff Gay.
And Warlord's name is Ward. Right.
Last name Lord, first name War. Yeah, you're right, though. If they would have just said the team of Jeff Gaylord, even if they would have called them the Lords of something, you know what I mean? But to call them the Lord Brothers, like, what the fuck is going on? All right. Number 490.
We might even encounter those 2. It's 94, so yeah.
Possibly. Yeah.
Go ahead, sorry.
Number 490, Randy Tyler, 6'1", 227 pounds. Must be a rookie because it says years in the business not available. The other half of the Billionaire Boys Club, currently the WCCW Tag Team Champions. Also held the mid-heavyweight title until losing it to firefighter Adrian. Wrestled at Notre Dame. Randy
Ew.
Tyler.
I don't like the Billionaires Boys Club. It's like magazine rent boys. I don't know what that is.
I mean, WWE did it. They just called it Legacy.
And before that, they called it the Mean Street Posse.
Indeed.
No, the
Before-
WWE
and
called it
before-
an NDA.
Yeah, I was going to say, before that, they called it the Ring Boy Scandal. Hey-o.
Trained
But yeah,
by.
I don't know who this Randy Tyler guy is. But... All right, let's see.
And he lost to the firefighter.
Firefighter Adrian.
There wasn't nothing fishy going on there at all, huh?
Oh, my.
How about to my hose?
He come out to It's Raining Men.
Was he
Either
trained by
that-
Terry Garvin?
Either that or that supermodel song by RuPaul.
Oh my God, 90. It makes sense. It was 94. Yeah.
You better work.
Work it, girl. Is that the song you're talking about?
Yes. Number 489 is Otis Apollo, 5'9", 225 pounds, 2 years pro. Comprises the Motor City Wrestling Tag Team Champions with Irish Bob Clancy. Won Border City Wrestling's Can-Am Tag titles. Had a tryout with WCW earlier in 1993. Trained by Mickey Doyle. Now, Otis Apollo is a name that I recognize. He may have been on some of those IWCCW shows back in, with like Tom Brandy and
I think you're right.
King Kong Bundy and
Probably was.
I think
I definitely.
How much of a jobber do you got to be to not make WCW?
Well, I'm sure he was on like Worldwide or something like that.
Shotgun Saturday Night for
no, that was WWA.
It says he had a tryout in 93. So they were like, Otis, we think you're great, but we only have so much money and we want to sign these big, fat, fucking awesome Kongs. So sorry, buddy.
Right.
Move along.
We've only got money for the Shockmaster.
These two guys that look like a couple of fucking piggies. We're going to hire them to waddle down to the ring.
We got to hire these fucking hogs. I've never seen two guys that look like hogs more than those guys. They look like hogs.
And goddamn Harley Race was like, you're gonna put these fat fucking, like they aren't Vader, okay? They're just fat.
They should have feuded with Billy and Bob.
The butchers.
The butchers
against the hogs. Yeah, I fucking those guys. They like were out of breath before they even got to the ring. Like they
were out of breath the minute the curtain opened.
Yeah, they look like they were constant. Like they look like they just right before they walked through the curtain, they just got off of their what's the fucking thing you use when you sleep?
The sleep apnea machine.
Yeah, the apnea machines. Yeah. They're just on an apnea machine.
They smell like that pond water. It's my favorite argument between two. It's my favorite argument between two commentators too. Is the '93 pay-per-view when it's supposed to be Awesome Kong's wearing King Kong's tights, and Tony and Jesse are arguing about it. And like halfway through, Ventura's like, "It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter." Yep.
Doesn't even. He's fighting Shockmaster, and Ventura's like, "It doesn't matter."
Yeah, none of this matters. Absolutely none of this matters. All right, number 488, Jimmy Lamb, 5'11", 220 pounds, 7 years pro. A contender in Kentucky-based Southern Wrestling Association, Jammin' Jimmy is a veteran of the Mid-South independent scene, excels at the crucifix finishing maneuver.
The pin or the power bomb?
It just says excels at the crucifix finishing move.
Probably
Jimmy Lamb.
Jimmy Lamb.
Lamb. Like
Yes.
Away from the
LAMB.
butchers.
Yes, Aaron.
LAMB. Well,
Yes.
his finisher should have been a devastating chop.
But
Lamb chop. He hit him with the lamb chop.
This is the match that never ends. Yes, it goes on and on, my friends. He can't be defeated in an Iron Man match. Oh, I just want to build a federation with shitty gimmicks and just. Anyway. Go ahead.
Number 487 is Gorilla Johnson. 6'1", 255 pounds, 15 years pro. Great hometown, Snake Hill, Texas. Rule breaker trained by Buddy Roberts and Johnny Valentine. Competes only in Texas and surrounding states. Banned in Mexico for causing riots. This guy Wrestle has been wrestling 15 years in 1994, and I've never heard of him.
15 years ago in 94 would have been what?
1979.
79?
Okay. All right. Because I was like, Johnny Valentine, really? But that accident happened like 2 years after that, I think.
I think so.
I was just trying to say I don't see Johnny Valentine training anybody. So I guess I'll buy that. But
well, and it could be one of those. It could be one of those things too, where there are, there's people that say they were quote unquote trained by Stu Hart, but they were actually trained by Bruce. Just because Stu was in the vicinity doesn't mean they actually trained him.
Stu watched.
Yeah,
trained in the legendary Hart Dungeon.
Number 486, Soul Man, Alex G. Exceptionally skilled South Florida star. Uncertain if he wants to be fan favorite or rule breaker. Miami native doing well in local federations. Soul Man, Alex G. It would be really funny if he was white.
I was just going to say that. I've never met a black guy named Alex.
Well, this guy was. Oh.
Aaron, your shit's freezing up. Just FYI, if you can hear me.
I can hear you. You can't hear me.
I can hear you, but you're freezing up.
I'll just turn my camera off.
Put the heat on. That might help. Put the heat on. That might help.
Put the mute on. That might help.
No, he said
put the heat on. It might help. Put the mute. How big of an asshole do I gotta be there in order to tell you to put your mute button on? Yeah,
just
it was a good fucking joke. It was a good fucking joke. You should have went with it. You just said, "Yeah, that's what I said."
Mr. Pony Killer.
Number 485, Mike Roselli. 6'4", 275 pounds. Not available, which means it's his rookie year, apparently. Former Penn State wrestler, now in West Coast Championship Wrestling. Nicknamed Braun, teams with Randy Tyler in the Billionaire Boys Club.
That makes sense, yeah.
WCCW Tag Team Champions. Arrogant but tough. Mike Roselli.
Now, did he lose to the other fireman? Adrian's tag partner?
No, the other guy had the police gimmick.
Oh, okay. Yeah. They were known as the Village People.
Adrian the Fantastic Fireman.
With
Stewie the
police officer.
I have nothing on Mr. Roselli. I've never heard of him.
Marcus,
is that the town you're from, Tony?
No, I'm from Roselle. I'm from Roselle.
Oh, it's not Roselli?
No.
Fuck, I thought it sounded familiar.
It's Marcus, the police officer. He's like, you're going to succumb to the long arm of the law.
God. Oh, God. That made it so much worse.
Sounds like a strippergram.
Right?
Get those fucking handcuffs away from me. All right. Number 484 is Tim McNeely. 6'3", 233 years pro. Boston native trained by Killer Kowalski, but a fan favorite nonetheless. has won the IWF New England North American Heavyweight title, beating the Eliminator Perry Saturn. Excellent DDT. Tim McNeely sounds like one of those guys where you're like, I don't know that actor's name, but he's been in so many things. Like, he sounds like a character actor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got nothing on Tim McNeely, though.
No.
It's like, wasn't he the dad in Home Alone?
To me, his last name sounds like something you do to somebody when you want to antagonize them. McNeely. Just over and over.
Number 483 is Bobby Blade, 5'8", 220, one-year pro, junior heavyweight champion in Kentucky-based Southern Wrestling Alliance, has a devastating flying neck breaker and triple X knee crunch. Really making a name for himself. Apparently not, because...
Right.
What's a triple X knee crunch?
Right?
That
Ask
sounds
it-
dirty.
ask-
If you gotta
ask
ask,
Fireman
if you
Adrian.
gotta ask, it's like if you gotta ask,
Say
you
it,
can't
Aaron.
take it.
If you have to ask, you can't afford it.
Damn.
Yeah, he's like,
You're gonna have to call off. You're gonna have to call off tomorrow. That's all I can say.
you're in the ring, and all of a sudden it's Silence of the Lambs. He's like, would you fuck me? I'd fuck me. Oh, God. Get me out of here.
Knee crunch.
The crying game starts playing.
Right. And then after the
Damn.
match is over, the announcer's like, what Mr. Blade had to say, we do not stand behind. Please excuse us. We'll be right back.
All
Damn
right.
the baby oil. Put the lotion on the skin.
It puts the lotion on the skin, or it gets the knee crunch again.
Again, right. Triple X style.
Ooh, this one's got a fun name. Number 482. He's 6 foot. He's 417 pounds. His name?
Damn.
His name? Hollywood Hubie.
Yes!
What the fuck?
Yes!
Calls
I
himself
love
the Hollywood fashion plate, but at that size has to shop at big men's stores. From Columbus, Ohio. Has wrestled in
Really?
the Buckeye State, West Virginia, and Kentucky. Hollywood Hubie.
Hollywood
He should-
QB.
He should have called himself the Hollywood Blue Plate Special.
Said he's
That's
the
his
fashion
finisher.
plate.
That's
Is that
his
what he
finisher.
eats off of?
I love the name Hubie.
Hubie. Hollywood Hubie.
I could just see the crowd go like chanting Hubie, Hubie. My God, that was perfect.
Aaron, I know you got something to say about Hollywood Hubie.
I'm trying to look him up.
I was going to say,
got
Mark,
nothing.
why are you not looking him up?
He's 400-something fucking pounds. You can't miss him.
He's got a match on YouTube.
Oh boy.
It's Wild
Hollywood.
Bull Miller versus Hollywood Hubie. But I'm not.
How do
gonna
you spell
watch
his
it.
name, Nate? How do you spell the last name? Hubie?
Hubie. Hollywood Hubie.
There's a movie named that, a Halloween movie.
Yeah,
Okay.
Adam Sandler did it.
Yeah.
Hubie Halloween.
He's
Yeah.
he's got a big poofy blonde. Like he looks like the kid from Fat Santa or Fat Santa, Bad Santa.
That's Santa.
I said Fat Santa. Every Santa's fat, but that's what he looked like to me. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna watch
Wild
the
Bill.
match, but
But from IWA on September 11, 1996, he defeated the Casanova Clique,
Oh.
Chip and Dale.
Shit.
the Casanova chimp.
Click.
Oh, I think the
More than one
Casanova
person?
chimp.
Chip and Dale.
We spent too much time on Hubie.
There ain't a picture.
Which Hubie do you be? Like there should be multiple Hubies, and they're the
Right.
Hubie brothers.
Miami Hubie, Hollywood Hubie.
I'm gonna
Are we just calling these shows
Hubie.
PWI 500,
Yes.
or are we on an actual time? Okay. Because what Hubie Do You Be would be a great fucking title.
I agree.
Number 481 is Suicide Samson. 6'1", 235, 3 years pro, hails from Niagara Falls, New York, competes in Century Wrestling Alliance, member of the Cash Money Boys, a skilled technician, but will break the rules if he has to.
Suicide Samson.
Suicide Samson.
I want to talk to Samson. As soon as you said that shit, that's the first thing that come through my head.
He hasn't got a victory yet, and he's like, I swear to God, if I lose this next match,
I'm gonna kill myself.
there's I'll just pin me, man. It's okay.
Number 480 is Brett Blair. Isn't he on Fox News? Anyway, 6 foot, 242, 7 years pro. Partner of Billy Brooks in The Bad Boys. Skilled, but can be a mite cocky at times. Also manages several women wrestlers. Has a shady reputation.
If they did not come out to the fucking song off of Cops, they missed an opportunity there.
Has a shady reputation.
Yes.
Does it say anything about him pooping on anyone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did he have any non-disclosure agreements written out?
Number 479, Stephen Debbes. Is that Debs? Stephen Debs? Or is that Debus? I don't know. He's the South African junior. Stephen Diabetes. He is the South African junior heavyweight champion, labeled the Tornado in Puerto Rican-based WWC. Another high-flying Jushin Liger disciple. Has also competed in Africa, Russia, and Japan.
Wait, hold on.
South African disciple of Jushin.
That doesn't compute.
Their geography was way the fuck off.
Right.
Before we get to Japan, we must stop in South Africa.
South Africa.
But then we meet the Jushin Liger. I must meet the Jushin Liger. I am his disciple.
And fuck Timmy Diabetes or whatever his name is.
Timmy Diabetes. You got the diabetes.
Timmy. Number 478 is Troy Mest. 5'11", 232, 4 years pro. Is the quote-unquote little brother in more ways than one. Mark outweighs him by 136 pounds. They formed a successful tag team in the Mid-Atlantic region, quick, scientific, and extremely agile. I remember reading about the Mest brothers.
Mark, I didn't know you had a brother.
I didn't know I missed. Is that somebody?
Clean yourself.
Somebody get a wet wipe.
I don't know anything about him.
Yeah, I've never heard of them.
I do remember reading about Mark and Troy Mest back in the PWI and stuff back in the day, through the Mid-Atlantic, and I think they went up as far as like Baltimore and stuff too at times. But so Chad might actually know them. Number 477, Tommy Jammer, 5'11", 245, 6 years pro, handsome, beloved by female fans in the AWA and now the PWA. Skills are good, but career is stalling. Called the California Kid, but is not the Indiana wrestler of that name. Tommy Jammer was from those really late days of AWA. I remember
the name. I think he had like a brown mullet.
Yeah, I mean, most of those guys had a brown or a blonde mullet.
Well, yeah, I'm thinking like he looked like if I remember looking at him, he was kind of like a Joey Maggs looking wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember right. So he sucked.
Number 476. One of those guys I could just never, ever get into as a wrestler. Baron von Raschke, 6'3", 271, 28 years pro. German master continues to be a threat. Few are better at the claw hold. famed for long feud with Vern Gagne, competes in PWA and other Minnesota independents. Man, I could never get into Roshki. It is what it is. I know that, during the late 60s and the 70s, there were probably people in the AWA that really hated his stinking guts and all that shit, but I just never could get into Baron Von Roshki.
I thought he was boring. It's kind of like where, okay, maybe at the time, if I was a wrestling fan or whatever, I could understand it. So I'm not going to discount what he did in the business and the people that liked him. It's kind of like, and I don't want to sound like an asshole, but Nate, I kind of look at the same way as Killer Kowalski. When I watch Killer Kowalski, I'm like, this guy's fucking boring. I don't like the guy.
I agree with that. I was never any appeal.
But I mean, he gave us Triple H and China and Perry Saturn and all this shit, and those guys all loved him. It's a generational thing, and I think it's the same way with Roshki.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And it is what it is. Like you said, in his time, in his territory, as the German heel, he was probably over. They wanted to watch Vern Gagne kick his ass, and just me personally. I'm that guy I'm the guy in the room that would say, me personally, I never was into Nikita Koloff. That doesn't mean Nikita Koloff didn't bring anything to the table. He's not.
Yeah, I'm not discounting what you're saying. I'm just saying I think, and when I say generational thing, I don't even think it's that. I just think his style to me was boring because Ivan Koloff was around at the same time, but I've watched Ivan Koloff fucking tear it down, in old matches and shit. That dude fucking ripped it up, man.
Yeah,
right.
But Roshki, he just always seemed boring to me.
Well, that's all the people need to know.
You got to think too. He probably was wrestling around the time when they broadcasted wrestling on the fucking radio and only talked about red trunks and black trunks.
Well, this is 90. This is 94, and in 94 he'd been wrestling for 28 years. So,
and at this point, he looks like that thing the Hobbits kicked the shit out of for eating the last biscuit. What was his name?
Gollum?
Yeah, Schmeagol or Gollum or whatever the fuck his name was. I always felt bad for that thing. All he did was eat a cookie, and then the Hobbits kicked the shit out of him.
He's the only thing that can kick the shit out of him.
Gollum von Schmeagol. All right. Number 475. Wow. Rookie year. Great wrestler. It's crazy, though. 30 years ago. Rookie year. Doug Basham.
Wow.
6 foot 210. Rookie from Louisville, Kentucky in the USWA. Attended Danny Davis's wrestling school. Has also competed in other Southern independents. Relatively small, but has plenty of potential.
Wow. A guy that I can honestly say WWE there's a lot of people say WWE dropped the ball on people, and I'm like, whatever, but I think the WWE dropped the ball on him.
I do agree. He actually just retired from in-ring action 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Because he runs OVW, and he retired on TV there. And yeah, I always liked Doug Basham on the indie scene. And when he got signed to the WWE, him and the guy that they made his brother Danny, I know they were always inseparable on the indie scene, and when they got to Ohio Valley and all that, and they were fantastic, but the WWE, when they got to the main roster, just didn't know how to book them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were a great tag team in WWE. They were super cool. Well, I mean, the JBL faction was awesome and fucking carried SmackDown for almost a year.
Right.
And I liked their little their fucking thing they did with that chick that didn't have any talent.
When they were the Miles, when they were what were they? I forgot what they were. They like getting beat up by her.
Yeah, she was like their dominatrix. I mean, that was even fun. They made the best of that. They still had good matches. Exactly. Yeah, and they took her who didn't have. I mean, and it is just what it is. Some people just don't have wrestling talent. She didn't have any wrestling talent, and they made they kind of made her part of their act, and I thought it worked. It was fun.
Right.
And like you said, Archie, and I've told everybody a lot. One of my favorite wrestling shows on television the past 2 years is OVW. And Doug just had his last run in OVW, and
Yep.
fuck, he looks better now than he did 20 years ago.
Right? He looked ripped when I seen him last. It was like, wow, where was this guy a couple of years ago?
Mhm.
But I mean, he was good for his size. He had speed, he had charisma, and he knew how to work the ring. You know, guys like him and Nick Dinsmore worked OVW back in the day when they first started, and they were fantastic. They were like, they were sort of like a Dean Malenko or a Bobby Roode. You know what I mean? To put them in that kind of aspect, they adapted to their opponent's style. So yeah, I was a Doug Basham fan.
Anything else, guys?
Mark, anything you got to add?
Nothing that ain't already been said.
All right, number 474 is Chris Duffy. 6'1", 239 years pro, trained by Killer Kowalski, former IWF New England heavyweight champion. Loves the 1970s, enters the ring to the Brady Bunch theme, and sings Barry Manilow songs to the crowd, and he's managed by The Bug.
What the
Fucking
fuck?
awesome.
WCW
I don't know anything about him,
did
but
not
now I
hire
want
him.
to know.
WCW did not hire him. I mean, I could have seen that gimmick on Saturday night every week.
Aaron, you want to know about The Bug, don't you?
That sounds fucking awesome.
Right?
I can see Tommy Rich cutting a promo on him. The Southern Boys is gonna squash them in that bug.
That bug. Somebody say something about getting fired up. Duffy and the Bug better watch out.
Duffy and the Bug. That
Duffy
sounds like
and
a
the
70s cop show.
Right? Duffy and the Bug.
Damn it, Duffy. All right.
Had a VW police cruiser.
Number 473.
That's the theme. It's like Duffy and the Bug chasing some slick pimp. We got to get Showmo Joe. Duffy and the Bug. Sorry. Showmo Joe.
Sorry, that was good.
Gimmick right there, isn't it?
That's the next name on the list.
Yeah, Showmo Joe. Go ahead, Nate.
Number 473. Apparently Kevin's long lost brother, Quinn Nash. 5'7", 225, 2 years pro. Hagerstown, Maryland native, competes in various Northeast independents. Great speed and quite strong for his size. Former ACW light heavyweight champion, but was beaten by Lord Zoltan.
Yes, I know both those
Lord
names.
Zoltan.
I
Jesus
met
Christ, that's a name.
I met Quinn Nash a long ass time ago in like '95 at a independent event here in Jersey.
Mhm.
Nice guy, but how could I explain this? He looked like 6 wrestlers characters mashed together, but without any of the actual ability.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
you mentioned, he's Kevin Nash's younger brother. He looked like Nash with the long leather pants, but he wasn't a great big man. You know what I mean? He wasn't this, so he just looked like a guy who was like, oh, I'm going to take Bret Hart's singlet with Kevin Nash's pants, with Hulk Hogan's bandana, with Macho Man's sunglasses, but not be any of those things.
So he was a Jersey independent guy then.
Exactly. Well, Jersey, PA. I think he was here for like a best of Super Juniors or something like that. So,
fun fact: he never broke 400 in the PWI 500 in the 3 years he was in there.
Right.
Wah wah.
And he lost to Lord Zoltan. Jesus, that's a name. That was Danhausen before Danhausen.
Yep.
It was. You're not wrong.
And he's also one of those guys that, as a young wrestling fan, I knew who he was because of the magazines, but I never actually got to watch him wrestle until we got the fucking internet, like 10 years later, Like I knew who Lord Zoltan was, but I'd never seen a Lord Zoltan match until fucking 2002 or whatever. But
and when you
Zoltan,
saw it,
ain't that who the Power Rangers answered to?
Zordon. That was Zordon.
No, close enough.
But Nate, it was like when you finally got to watch a Lord Zoltan match, You're like, this isn't what I expected.
Yeah, this is not what I expected.
This was not what I signed up for.
This is some fucking
When I did-
this is some fucking Svengoolie shit.
When I watched it, I was like, "This is exactly what I expected."
Number 472 is Death Row number 3260. 6'3", 280, 5 years pro. Florida independent fans know this former prison inmate well. Managed by the warden, he wears illegal steel-toed work boots to the ring, formerly in WCW and the UWF.
Is this
His name
Nails?
was Death Row
No,
3260.
it is not Nails. Death Row 3260, I believe, was a black guy.
Okay.
Um,
And
It's
3060 is
also,
like his inmate number?
yes.
Okay.
It also sounds like when he tried to do like his Microsoft handle,
Mm-hmm.
he's like, "I'm gonna be Death Row 1," and they were like, "Nope,
Sorry, that
Right.
name was already
Death
taken.
Row.
Right.
You're gonna be Death Row 360."
Right.
It
It's
looks
either
like
that-
Ice Train. It looks like Ice Train in a jumpsuit.
Now I gotta look him up. Hold on. Because I remember, I do remember him being an African American guy, but I just, yeah, you're right.
Might be Ice
Are you
Train.
sure it's not-
No, slow cousin.
Are you
but-
sure it's? I was to say, are you sure it's not Ice Train?
It's not Ice Train.
Hey, don't
Mr.
speak
Joe?
ill of the
Okay.
dead. Don't speak ill of the dead. He died last month.
Oh yeah. All right,
That's
force number 471, Rob Morgan, 6'5", 255, 2 years pro, Indianapolis-based competitor, has wrestled throughout the Midwest and South, has beaten Barry Horowitz, and appeared on WCW TV tapings, managed by the photographer, sometimes teams with Rip Rogers.
Okay, when
Managed by the
when you
photographer.
write up highlight is that you beat Barry Horowitz.
Right.
That says
You
it
beat
all.
Barry. You beat
Unless-
Barry Horowitz, and you beat Barry Horowitz and appeared on WCW television. That's everybody that's here.
Right. Unless we're talking about global when Horowitz was actually winning, then it doesn't matter. You know? Damn. He's managed by the photographer. Hmm.
What does
Yeah.
photography and Rob Morgan have in common?
Right.
Gee. Number
I love
470.
I
No,
love
go
his little brother, though, Pyrito Morgan.
ahead. Numbers 470 is Psycho Mike. Former
Psycho Mike.
Great Lakes champion, often appears in Midwest independents, somewhat crazed and poorly conditioned. 5'11", 234 years pro. Psycho Mike.
Poorly conditioned, as in his like physical stature or his mental
I
stature?
assume so. I'm assuming they're saying he's a pot-bellied motherfucker. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
He's a crazy ass fat fuck.
Right. He gets along with the butcher.
Number 469. Now, I got to say, this next guy is actually, you look at him. When you would look at him in the ring, the first time you ever saw him, you would think, this guy is a fat slob and blah, blah, blah. He was actually a very good wrestler and a great jobber, and it's Rusty Brooks.
Yeah.
6 foot, 352, 11 years pro at this time. Claims he's the king of independent wrestling, now in Florida Federations. Faced Hulk Hogan in a 1986 television bout. Teamed with Dr. Red Roberts for the ICW tag team titles. Rusty Brooks was actually a hell of a fucking worker, man.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, I agree with that.
But his
He
size,
was good enough to be one of like when Vince put the jobbers on TNT. Like he was like the main one he put on there. You
yeah,
remember that?
yeah.
Because he knew that this guy could get the job done. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
He's never gonna be anything because he's a fat bastard. But
I like how you ended it with Bud. I like how you ended it with Bud, and that was it. You didn't go any further.
I've actually, Archie, you remember when Warsman did the damn mystery jobber stuff? That was one
Yeah.
of the guys that
Yep.
wound up being one of the pledges.
I've made this custom before. I made a guy message me, and he's like, "I want a Rusty Brooks." I'm like, "I'm gonna have to look him up." And I looked at him and I'm like, "Dude, it's just I could basically just paint Earthquake a different color." He's like, "Yes, do it." He was excited. He's like, "Just shorten the hair a little bit and paint him." I'm like, "Okay." You know.
Number 468 is Kid Liberty, 6'1", 240, 2 years pro, youthful star of New England Wrestling Alliance, can scientifically wrestle or brawl, part of Freedom Force with Sergeant Stone, extremely enthusiastic, continuing to learn his craft. Kid Liberty.
Kid Liberty. Probably came out to Born in the USA. Red, white, and blue stripe on his pants.
Number 467. All right, and here's a. I'm gonna. Just let me finish the whole thing.
Okay.
Or actually, hold on. I'll see if anybody gets it right off the bat.
Okay.
Number 467, 6 foot, 232, 13 years pro, is Paul Lloyd. And who is Paul Lloyd's son? No. All right, so he's called the Pink Panther since he's always dressed in that color. Africa's most controversial wrestler, 12-time national amateur champion, and expert in Russia, Japan, and England.
Alex Wright.
Alex
Wow.
Wright.
No.
No?
No?
I'm pretty sure Paul Lloyd is Justin Gabriel's dad.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Steve
Okay.
Wright is Alex Wright's dad. Sorry.
Yeah.
When I heard Germany, I was like, oh, Alex Wright. But no, you're right. It's Justin Gabriel.
Right.
Yeah, see, I didn't,
It was
and I
fucking
didn't.
awesome.
I didn't pick it up when I saw Paul Lloyd because the name didn't ring. But when I saw in the description the Pink Panther, I was like, that's Justin Gabriel's dad.
Right.
Yeah, I jumped the gun with Alex Wright, and then sitting I was like, Justin Gabriel. And I know we're not talking about Justin Gabriel, but I thought that dude was fucking money, and dropped the ball on him big time. But anyway,
on 4/28/84, Jerry Lawler and Austin Idol went against the Black Panther and the Pink Panther.
Wow.
They came out. Well, no, you said what year was it?
84.
Oh, never mind. I was gonna say they came out to the Pink Panther theme, meshed up with "Fuck the Police," but
Shaft.
Yeah.
Black Panther was played by Reggie B. Fine or Brickhouse Brown, one of the two. I'm not even joking. It was probably one.
Yes, that sounds like something Lawler would
Right.
do in the 80s. All right. Number 466 is Woody Lee. 6'1", 260, 15
know,
years
Woody.
pro. Cowboy lassos opponents in the Great Lakes independent scene, formerly named the Wild Man. Arizona native, formed tag team with younger brother Bobby, who then was sidelined with an injury. Woody Lee. I got nothing.
His brother's name was Bobby.
Yes.
What the hell is that?
So he went on to become a great Asian comedian.
I heard his son Brian Lee is going to do major things.
In the fourth incarnation of the Outlaws, his tag team partner was Ricky James. I'm Ricky James, bitch.
Before he hits his finisher, he's like, "What the five fingers say to the face?"
What the five fingers say to the face? I was going to say, what the five fingers say to the chest? Chop. Go ahead.
Number 465 is Caveman Broda. 5'9", 211, 14 years pro. The name says it all. Neanderthal has mellowed somewhat, but is still high-strung. River City wrestling fans love his zany antics and his willingness to wrestle in specialty bouts. Caveman Broda.
Can you read the beginning of that again?
The name says it all. Neanderthal has mellowed somewhat, but is still high-strung.
They missed it. It shouldn't have been. Did Bob Smith write these?
No, he was gone by this time.
Because they should have said like Caveman, whatever his name was, has evolved over time. Instead of they fucking dropped the ball. Caveman's
and he passed away 2 years ago.
Oh, that's too bad. Like over his career, he should have been like his first promo should have been like, oh, and like as time goes on, by the time he gets to like 7 years in the business, he's cutting like Dusty Rhodes promos. Like he just keeps evolving. It's great. And it's the ball.
Bring Heenan out to manage him at the beginning of his shit.
By the time it's over, he's like Businessman Dave or whatever his fucking caveman name was.
Hello, everybody.
And-
Good evening.
Because of this guy's name, the next guy they totally shit on him in his bio here, which is really funny because his name is Juan Valdez.
The coffee guy?
5'9", 222 pounds, 4 years pro. Here's their bio. Wake up and smell the coffee. This Mexican wrestler isn't much. Should hop on his burro and leave South Florida where he's flopped. A decaf competitor puts fans to sleep.
Oh God!
Like
He actually
that's like the 1994 equivalent of like internet fucking Twitter.
He roasted that motherfucker.
he
It's funny that I said they roasted him and he swapped out.
December 6, 1988, he actually wrestled Akeem on Superstars of Wrestling.
100% Colombian coffee.
You need enema?
Number 463, Wichita Willie.
Honestly, if
5'9".
you call yourself Juan Valdez, you deserve it.
Wichita Willie, 5'9", 225, 5 years pro. Oh, God. Has a finishing hold called the Kansas Clapper.
What the fuck?
Sunflower State native, has won light heavyweight titles in the AWF and APW. Very methodical, but drives opponents crazy.
It's either an STD or he has low-hanging balls that he just smacks on your chin.
Kansas Clapper.
Well, what's funny is when you type in Wichita Willie, a song by Brenda Pepper comes up.
It sounds like something you'd do to somebody. And they'd be like the thing that you told the person the next day that you did to the person, they'd be like, "You're disgusting."
Yeah,
Like you'd be proud of it. Like you'd go to work the next day. They'd be like, "Hey man, I saw you leave with that chick. What'd you do last night?" "Oh, I gave her the Wichita Willie." And that guy would be like, "You're a fucking pervert."
Yeah, but I also gave her the
Disgusting.
Kansas Clapper.
All right, she gave me the Kansas Clapper
Oh shit!
because I gave her an unprotected Wichita Willie.
Oh, shit.
Damn it, man!
Number 462, Tony Golden. 6'2", 262, 2 years pro. Cousin of the Tennessee stud, Jimmy Golden, though he's from Dayton, Ohio. Works as a bouncer when not competing at AWC. Avid Elvis Presley fan. Aims to leave foes all shook up.
I don't think this guy's a fuller. I think he's just saying it.
Imposter.
I'm positive you're correct. Let's see here. 461, Tony Pritchard. 6 foot 235, 6 years pro, a well-experienced scientific fan favorite, and the current All-States heavyweight champion. Intense competitor who hails from Nashville, Tennessee. Has held several singles and tag titles. I don't know Tony Pritchard.
I know his brother Bruce and their other brother Tom.
Let's see.
Does Pritchard have a T in his name?
No.
Oh, he's trying to be a Pritchard, but he's not.
Yeah.
Number 460, Dr. Johnny Wildside. He's 6'8", 290, 3 years pro, frequently appears in Pennsylvania Independence. Had Nurse Vanessa by his side to distract opponents. She's not around anymore, but his wrestling hasn't suffered. Big and tough nonetheless. Dr. Johnny Wildside.
The guy,
no
is that the
idea.
guy that we... That's not the same guy we watched on UWF when I made us watch the February.
It might be.
No.
Holy fuck.
Maybe.
No, that was Feel Good. Sorry.
It looks like Jerry
that was
Sags in a leopard print fucking singlet with fucking a doctor's coat on.
Oh my!
I'm trying to figure out why they made it seem like Nurse Vanessa died in his bio. She's not around anymore.
Yeah. He's since passed on,
Right. But the good doctor is still trekking along.
even though he's grieving. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nurse Vanessa was murdered by Wichita Willie. Number 459, Tyrone Knox, 6'1", 242 years Pro Wrestling Federation up-and-comer. Was trained by Gary Royal, former NWA Junior Heavyweight Champion. Is noted for his headbutt. Has wrestled at WWF TV tapings. If he was trained by Gary Royal, he was probably boring.
Noted for his headbutt.
Yep.
Yeah, because Gary Royal
all
was
the
fucking
moves-
boring.
All the moves in your arsenal, your headbutt's the best.
Right.
Right.
It's like I would love to watch the
Unless
most
there's-
boring.
Oh,
I
go
would
ahead,
love
Nate.
to watch an amazingly boring match. Who's this you're showing to us here, Mark? Is this Tyrone
Yeah.
Knox?
That's Dr. Johnny Wildside.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You're
I
right.
didn't. I was looking at the magazine. I didn't see that he had shared the screen there. But yeah, Gary Royal versus Denny Brown, one of those boring matches of all time.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But they're like, these are our junior heavyweights. It's like, Jesus Christ.
it's a boring match with the ugliest fucking belt you've ever seen. That belt that looked like a crown or whatever. Like, God, that's an ugly fucking belt. Anyway. All right. Our man here at number 458, Lord Zoltan.
There he is.
Yeah, there he is.
5'9", 230, 18 years pro. Former American Commonwealth Wrestling, American Commonwealth. Easy for me to say.
Commonwealth. A
Wrestling,
Commonwealth.
wrestling light heavyweight champion. Has wrestled throughout North America and Japan. Comes into the ring wearing death mask face paint. Cagey competitor.
When he booked his territory, everybody had to wear the same 2 pair of boots, and he only paid them in bread. He's a
No
Commonwealth.
Beatles albums. No blue jeans.
No
He looks
American
like-
blue jeans.
he
In
looks
America,
like,
American blue jeans.
You
he
know,
looks
you
like
know,
Captain Spaulding.
You know, Lord Zoltan's one of those guys, though, that because he was around so long and wrestled the indies and all that, you know, he's wrestled like almost everybody. You know what I mean?
And that's what I was gonna say. Like we were kind of knocking him a little bit, but I guarantee he's a guy that like maybe he wasn't the best like in ring guy or whatever, but he was around so long that it's kind of like I don't want to put him in the same like level because the guy I'm going to compare him to made it bigger, but it's kind of like a honky tonk man situation, you know, where like Zoltan was probably like, I'm going to go out there and do as little as possible, get my gimmick over, you do all the work. And he probably taught these kids how to fucking work a crowd. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like
You can't have an 18-year career, and like, was he ever gonna go to the WWF? No, but like in that scene, like the Midwest or New Jersey, New York area, Pennsylvania area, the guy was the fucking man.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was alluding to. You know, like it's like, you know, you probably hear Greg Valentine. Yeah, I worked Zoltan a few times, or whoever. You know what I mean? All those guys that were up and down the coast and shit.
Judging by his face paint, that probably is where Danhausen got the gimmick from. Because he looks just like
Captain Spaulding.
he looks like Dadhausen. You know what I mean? Like
Dadhausen.
Dadhausen.
Daddy. You know,
Danhausen.
Dadhausen.
If he's still alive, is Danhausen still in AEW? I don't watch it.
Yes. Yes, he is.
Zoltan's still alive. He should be Danhausen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Comes out on the street. I am the daddy.
Number 457 is the Barroom Brawler.
I haven't
6
heard
foot.
that name forever.
6 foot 288, 12 years pro. His favorite move, a chair to the head. Has wrestled for many independent federations, including World Class and the UWF. Was a member of Tag Team Champions in the USWA, the CWA, and ICW.
Made a cameo appearance in Roadhouse.
I think you could tell who were non-trained wrestlers when their favorite move is a chair to the head.
Chair to the head.
It's not an arm drag. It's not a drop kick. It's not a moonsault.
At least it wasn't a headbutt.
Right. It was better than a headbutt, right? His career lasted longer.
Number 456, Calvin Knapp. K-N-A-P-P.
Which is probably what people did when he wrestled.
5'9", 226, 3 years pro. Periodically wrestles in Texas. Still recovering from a knee injury suffered in 1993 against the Kongs, those fat bastards.
Oh, God.
Weightlifter known as Hardbody for his solid build. Former global heavyweight champion.
Calvin Knapp. His finisher is the sleeper.
Yeah.
Hey-o.
Or to go to sleep. One of the two.
Of course, he got injured wrestling the Kongs.
Everybody did.
It's like, what happened to you? Hurt my knee. One of their titties hit me in the knee, and God damn it.
My eye out.
Put my eye out.
Cold.
Yeah,
It was cold in that building.
Yeah. Them guys got heavier titties than Missy Hyatt. Jesus.
And I got hit with a stiff shot from his erect nipple.
How much does Awesome Kong's titty weigh? 1, 2, 3, kid.
That'll be on our next trivia night.
Yep.
All right, 455. I know everybody in this room has probably heard this name. Knuckles Nelson, 6'4", 247, 3 years pro. Now that's a wrestling name. Hails from Reno, Nevada. Guess what foreign object he's allegedly used in the ring? Teams with Suicide Samson in Century Wrestling Alliance.
A steel chair? Come on, Mark.
He uses a chair.
Brass knuckles, damn it.
Oh.
Number 454, Ed Atlas. 6 foot 236, 8 years pro, part of WWA's Super Jocks, managed by Eddie Reality. Says he's Charles Atlas' great-grandson, or great-great-grandson. Why did I have to clarify that bullshit? Former WWA Junior Heavyweight Champion, sour personality, once wrestled as Ed the Razor.
What was his name again? His first name?
Ed Atlas.
Ed Atlas. I have to look this up.
I actually am intrigued by the gimmick Ed the Razor. Like he probably comes out to Mac the Knife, you know.
I love how Nate left us on that cliffhanger. Can you guess? Can you guess what object?
Oh, Knuckles Nelson. Yeah, Knuckles Nelson. Yeah.
Like he just didn't even mention it afterwards. He's like, "Fuck it."
Okay, hold on. Hold on a second. I got to put my cam on for a second. Does that look like the grandson of Atlas, of Charles Atlas?
Yeah, not so much.
That's Tatsuji Fujinami's grandson.
Right.
Looks like he may have been cucked by Tony Atlas.
It's one of the super keys.
There you go. Right.
Tony Atlas was like, "You bang her while I look at her feet."
Looks like you took a super key. You call yourself Atlas, and then you decide you're going to be 235 pounds of fat. I'm sorry. Don't worry.
So you look like a fucking marshmallow.
Right.
All right. Number 453, Sean Casey. 5'9", 223, 5 years pro. Cincinnati native. Is compared to Van Hammer and Rick Morton. What? What?
That's
How
two
does that-
different sides of the
How does that
spectrum.
even commute? That's some fucking Steiner math right there.
What in the fucking
He's like,
show dirt is this shit?
he's 5'10". He's got a pot belly and some big arms.
I almost popped an aneurysm reading that.
It's like he looks like Van Hammer and Ricky Morton were standing right next to each other when a nuclear bomb went off. They just like fused together.
Look
He's
at
got
this
blonde
fuck-
hair.
Look at this fucking mutant.
Yeah, he does. He's got blonde hair.
Yeah,
He's got big
yeah.
pot belly, curly Jufro, and like big arms.
He looks like if Bret Michaels and Kerry Von Erich had a love child.
Yeah, that's what I just described.
Right.
Oh
Casey
man,
Sunshine.
I cannot even comprehend putting Van Hammer and Ricky Morton in the same fucking sentence.
Got it. Like I said, it's two ends
Get
of the
the
spectrum.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
The only thing they have in common is drunk driving.
I'm moving on. 452 Spellbinder, 6'2", 245, 2 years pro. Regularly appears on USWA cards. Entered the Federation as a fan favorite. Now is in Burt Prentice's rule-breaking stable. Good fundamental skills. Spellbinder. That was that Godfather? No, Spellbinder. No, Spellbinder's Spellbinder's
Terry Del Rio.
Yeah, Spellbinder's
Del Rio.
the mime-looking motherfucker.
And he winds up in the WWE, has like 2 matches, and his move was the atomic wedgie.
Wasn't he?
I think
wasn't
he
that
fought-
the guy that became Fantasio? The
Yeah.
magician?
That was his gimmick in the WWF.
Yeah.
I think he fought Tony DeVito, and his move was like he shot fucking streamers out of his hands,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a la Max Moon, and then his finishing move was the atomic wedgie. I think it was Tony DeVito that he wrestled, and like he pulled his underwear up his ass, and that was gonna be his big break. Soul Taker was Godfather.
Godfather, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Much better gimmick.
Got my wires crossed there for a second.
El Phantasmo might wind up in the Hall of Shame this year.
I'm with you. I'll vote.
All right, let's see. Number 451 is Firewalker. Sounds like a liquor. 6'3", 310, 3 years
For
pro.
a casino.
Top contender in Kentucky's Southern Wrestling Alliance. Only 20 years old. Favorite moves include the Dragon's Breath. Oof. Maybe it is alcohol.
That's a drink.
Has an excellent future ahead of him. But yeah, I'm like, what happened to you last night, man? Oh shit. I'm down to 5th of Firewalker.
I had 17 fire breathers at Firewalkers or whatever. Or he's just a drunken Indian. Is that what he is? Is that what his gimmick is? He's a drunken Indian.
Let's see. Let's look him up.
Might be an Indian rite of passage. You must be the Firewalker.
You drunken Indian.
I had a 5th of Firewalker and somebody hit me with a Wichita Willie. It was a terrible night.
Hold on, his picture is loading. Was a monstrous extra man. Amber Hunter. Oh, no picture. Wait a minute. That sucks. Never mind. Carry on.
He went down in a blaze of glory.
I love the story for this next guy. Number 450 is Plowboy oh god damn it. Plowboy Wilbur. I love the story though. He's 6'4", 378, 2 years pro. He loves to bring his pet pig Frida into the ring, although she was briefly kidnapped by a rival manager.
I like that. Reminds me of when they stole Matilda from the Bulldogs.
I'm gonna get you back. You stole my pig. And he would say stoled, not stole. Stoled. You stole
Mr.
my
Commissioner,
pig.
Mr. Commissioner, you got to give me a match with that man. He stole my pig.
He stole my pig.
It's like Al Snow in the
weeks
Boss
later.
Man pepper.
2
Right.
weeks later, when he gets it back, he's figured out he needs to grease it up.
Number
Greased up
440,
the pig. If I greased up my pig,
and then
downtown Bruno wouldn't have been able to steal her.
yeah, if I'd have greased up my pig, Mr. Magic Hands wouldn't have been able to get a hold of him.
Mr. Magic
No, number 449, Turbo Eric Freedom. 5'11", 217, 4 years pro. Turbo Eric Freedom. Chicago native is Chicago native has been in several independent federations, including Motor City Wrestling. Once faced Jake Roberts in the WWF. Uses a flying body press finisher off the top rope.
He looks like Firebreaker Chip. He's just a generic fucking wrestler. Looks like Firebreaker Chip.
His fucking gimmick name sounds like a fucking American themed Power Ranger.
Right.
What I thought of the minute I saw Turbo Eric Freedom was America. Fuck yeah.
Fuck
Yeah. Yeah, he looks like a Firebreaker Chip, maybe with blonde hair.
Have you ever had a time?
Wait a minute. Who are you guys looking at? That's
He's
the guy I
kinda-
looked up.
Archie landed
That's
on the
him.
porn star.
That's him.
Oh my.
That is him. That's the same thing I'm looking at.
He doesn't look like anything Aaron said. Aaron said he was.
No, he looked like Kenny Powers.
Yeah.
Or fucking,
He's
See on the ring names, Turbo Eric Freedom.
Yeah.
he should not be Turbo anything.
No, there's nothing turbo about him.
He looks like an offspring of Kim Patera.
More like Turbo.
It's like a love child of Kim Patera and Robert
that's what-
Gibson.
That's what Charles Barkley called him. Turbo.
Terrible. Terrible.
Yep. Number 448, Kirk Dredd. 5'11", 237, 5 years pro. Has won titles in Atlantic Wrestling Federation. Fan favorite in the Pennsylvania and Maryland region. Somewhat knowledgeable, but tends to be temperamental. Killer hit is favorite move. Kirk Dredd.
Uh-huh. That's all I'm going to say.
The silence says it all. Number 447.
It must have been around the time that the Stallone movie come out.
Well, then shouldn't his nickname have been the Judge?
Oh, I'm looking at the page right now. We got a Judge Dredd coming up soon.
Oh, good. Good.
447
movie Oscar. That was 94. I think Oscar came out in 94, but go ahead.
447 Corporal Daryl Daniels, 6'2", 211, 3 years pro, up and comer in Chicago and the Midwest Independents. Served in Operation Desert Storm, trained by Malcolm Monroe. Now a fan favorite after starting. I love how they're like trained by Malcolm Monroe. Like I'm supposed to know
that's
what
supposed to mean something.
Right.
Yeah.
Sounds like an old timey gangster. It's Malcolm Monroe, and like he like bugs him alone or whatever. It's like, what the fuck?
He's like the second nephew.
He got
iced.
See, he got iced by Malcolm Monroe. Fuck him. See,
during Prohibition. See,
he's the bee's knees. The big six.
You want to hear something funny?
Dial M for murder.
It says in parentheses next to his name, Violent J.
Oh.
He ain't one of the ICP.
God, I hope not.
Number 446, J.R. James, 6 foot, 247, 6 years pro, formerly in the UWF and AWC, now competes in Florida's hardcore pro wrestling. Rule breaker notorious for his bull rope and cowbell, and he has 5 managers. What? Oh, no, has had 5 managers. I'm sorry.
He has 5 managers? That's a fantastic gimmick.
Yeah.
Right.
He's like halfway through the match. He's like, who the fuck am I supposed to listen to?
It's a reverse
He's
stable.
a Mormon. He's a Mormon, and all his wives are his manager.
Escorted to the ring by the sister wives. Number 445 is Denny Cass, 5'11", 225, 13 years pro. Australian has revived the Fabulous Kangaroos with Al Snow. Former Olympic wrestler trained under Al Costello, regularly competes in the Midwest and Canada, also in WCW and the WWF.
I remember seeing pictures of Al as a kangaroo.
Yes.
Wow.
I've seen this guy in pictures, never seen any video though.
Yeah, I remember that.
Number 444, Judge Dredd, 6'6", 334, 4 years pro. Don't dare be convicted by his stare. Michigan native in Great Lakes Independence after a stint in the USWA. Frighteningly powerful big man, says little, lets his wrestling do the talking. I remember he was one of those guys that, like, if you read the magazines and stuff, he was gonna be a big deal, but he never became a big deal.
Is he the same one that we saw when we watched?
Yeah. Yes,
ECW?
Dread, when he was just Dread in ECW. Yeah, same guy.
He was like an untalented 911, which says a lot.
Which says a lot, right?
443, Eddie Golden, 5'11", 209, 6 years, this nephew of Jimmy Golden is beginning to be recognized as a fine wrestler in his own right, has won the SSW title, among the best light heavyweights among Southern independents.
Isn't this the second guy that's claimed to be the nephew of Jimmy Golden?
But I think this guy actually was the nephew of Jimmy Golden.
I feel like Jimmy Golden had a little gimmick going along with him. He's taking all these Golden Boys, but that's what I think is going on.
Maybe.
Kind of like what Tracy Smothers did. Kind of what Tracy did at the end of his career. You know, when he had that little hillbilly group with him that he said were like his family. I think that's what it was.
Number 442. Yeah. Number 442, the Ram Man.
Oh, God.
The Ram Man?
Yes. 6'3".
Keep him away from them backwoods boys or whatever their names were a few hours back.
Yep.
He's 6'3", 391. Oof.
Ooh.
7 years pro. Superb standing drop kicks, flying body blocks, and top rope maneuvers. Not noted. Has won the AWC heavyweight title. Good quickness and agility for someone his size.
I was just about to say, he was known for his drop kicks at being 6'4", 391 pounds.
Yeah, when I saw Ram Man, I thought of fucking He-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jesus.
His devastating finisher maneuver, the Raw Dog. You want to stay away from that.
Except firefighter Adrian, he's running toward it.
Gonna
backwards.
Get you in that ring. I'm gonna get you in that ring and I'm gonna ram you. Hold on, back up.
What's up there, big boy?
Right, what's going on here?
Nate, that sounded like one of my jokes. Like, you said the joke and you didn't need to explain it. Or put a caveat on it. He's running for it.
Backwards.
Oh, that's my favorite way to tell a joke. It's just to tell somebody why it's funny, even though they don't need to be told why it's funny.
Oh, shit. All right. Number 441, Chris.
Oh, that might be one of the funniest things you've ever seen. Sorry, go ahead.
Number 441, Chris, Pillon, Pillon.
Fuck him. It's
5'8", 245, 2 years pro. Somewhat stocky competitor from Ontario who's nicknamed Smooth Mover.
Somewhat stocky. I like that. He's fat. That's all they could put that.
Yeah, he has competed in the Great Lakes region. Yeah. He's pleasantly plump.
Is this his Grinder account? He's an otter.
On 5/28/95, him and Dave Dalton went against the Nasty Boys on Worldwide.
Oh my.
I'm
That's
sure
what
they
butts
did.
in the seats.
Number 440, Irish Bobby Clancy, 5'5", 200 pounds, 2 years pro, diminutive competitor from Windsor, Ontario, teamed with newcomer Phil Apollo to capture the Border City Wrestling's Can-Am tag titles, has tried out with the WWF. Speed, agility, compensate for smallness.
Spoiler, he didn't get the job.
Yeah.
That's what I try to tell the ladies.
My speed and agility
speed
compensate for my smallness.
My smallness.
and a needle's hell at 100-mile-an-hour, right here.
I'm a fiery competitor.
Just run my Tinder account.
Oh man.
Oh damn.
Oof.
I think we got time for one more.
All right, I'll let you guys decide. One more, two more, or three more.
What number are we on?
Fourth, we're about to hit 439.
Go three
Let's go to
more.
435.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
We'll round out at 435.
Nate,
All right.
Nate,
Yes.
the greatness of the joke was that he runs towards it.
Backwards.
I know it was funny. That's why I said it.
You have Jared over it now, right now.
I appreciate that you appreciated my humor, but I knew it was funny.
I wanted to explain to you after you explained to me why the joke was funny.
Oh my god.
Oh, go ahead. I'll shut up. Towards it backwards is so fucking funny.
All right. Compose myself. 439. Guido Falcone. 6'4", 284, 6 years pro. Texas independent wrestler, once known as Sweet Daddy Falcone in Global. Big and bulky, but a solid competitor. Had held the GWF tag team belts with Vito Mussolini. You know what's funny? Is actually when I was a kid watching GWF, when I was a kid watching GWF, I actually thought Sweet Daddy Falcone and Vito Mussolini were a cool ass tag team.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it was they're
your people, Arch.
Exactly.
He got the tag titles with Brickhouse Brown and USWA too.
And Guido Falcone was also great, and I don't know if he knew it or not, but he had a ridiculous haircut, which made it even better. Like his haircut was stupid. It was like he was like a white guy with a Mr. T haircut. Number 438. I pity the fool. 438. Derek Dukes, 6'2", 235, 8 years pro. Currently competes in the Midwest and Europe. Very capable wrestler, perhaps the best known for losing a boxing match to former pro football player Mark Gastineau. You know what? Derek Dukes is one of those guys that, like, in the dying days of the AWA, he was a big deal. And he's also one of those guys that I don't know why he never landed in WCW or WWF. Because he was actually pretty fucking
Starfire? He should have. His nickname literally says Starfire, and it says he was actually a professional boxer as well.
Yes, he was. And he's one of those guys that I don't know why he never landed in one of the big two after, the territories died out, but he just didn't.
I don't remember him.
Yeah, I don't either.
Let's see here.
Number 430.
Oof. Yeah.
Disastrous president.
Derek Dukes was black, though, so. Number 437, Jeff O'Day. 6'2", 235, 4 years pro, formerly in WCW, now an independent. Sydney, Australia native, son of Down Under Matt star Larry O'Day. Excellent suplex, was part of the Austro-Asian Tag Champions in 1990. Didn't the O'Days do one of the WCW tournaments?
Yeah.
He did that boring ass thing on fucking Clash of the Champions. I don't think they made it. I don't think they made it to Great American Bash. I think they did the fucking Clash of the Champions tournament.
Larry O'Day looked like Stevie Richards let himself go. So he looks like Big Stevie Uncool.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I think that's what they were. I remember the O'Days, and they were.
Yeah,
I like I said, I think they were on the Clash. I don't think they made it to the Bash.
Number 436, Stan Pretty Boy Lee. Prides 6'1", 240, 5 years pro. Prides himself on being a snappy dresser, and his wrestling is nearly as sharp. TCW heavyweight champion, native of Charlotte, North Carolina. Stock is still rising fast. Apparently, it fizzled out because I don't know who the fuck this guy is.
This isn't. Why
It
do
looks
I
like Paulie.
It was a Madoff scheme or whatever.
Oh God.
And the last guy we'll do on this episode.
Wait.
Number 4.
Rewind. Listen to
Okay.
what you just said.
Oh, sorry. The last guy we'll cover on this episode.
There we go.
Sorry, Fireman Adrian.
Yeah.
Number 435, Killer Kanarek.
What?
Kanarek. Killer Kanarek. 6'2", 235, 3 years pro. Motor City Rule Breaker. Trained by Iron Mike Anthony. Okay. And managed by the Gypsy. Formerly Dirty Dan. Has twice been suspended for assaulting MCW TV commentator Scott Sellers. You dirty Dan, you.
Trained by Larry Zbyszko and Mike Anthony.
How you gonna beat up Peter's brother? Peter Sellers.
So his real name was Dan
Back to the
Kennewick,
Pink
and he went-
Panther.
Ridiculous. What a bad name.
I
Killer
said
Kennewick.
the end of my joke at the end of my joke. But anyway, we're gonna end on this guy.
Yeah.
Cardiac.
Oh, Dirty
name?
Dan.
I know,
Dirty
Killer
Dirty
Kennewick.
Dan Cardiac. Yes.
So his real name was probably Dan Kennewick, and he was like, "I need to change my name. It's going to be Killer Kennewick from now on."
That's his,
Yeah, like he's putting over the fact that his eyes don't work right.
It's not cataract. It's
I got killer cataracts, man.
Yeah, man.
Mm.
Like that's how he doesn't know to break the hold. He's like, you gotta count, ref. I can't see your fingers.
I have to hear you. I'm like John Cena. I can't see whatever.
I can't see you, right?
He's the original John Cena. Just
Only in reverse.
Only in
Yeah.
reverse, right?
running towards
It's kind of like that.
Right
It's
towards
kind of
it.
like that guy ran the dick. It all comes back together.
RVD was backstage to help him out before matches.
This will help your cataract. Thank you.
Killer cataract.
Killer cataract.
How's he get to the shows? He can't drive.
He carpools. He's with 3 or 4 people at a time.
Slick drove him.
Mm.
Oh boy. Well,
All right.
It's so dumb.
as we have forewarned you, everybody, this is going to be a fun journey through the PWI 500 from 1994. Run, don't walk, backwards
Backwards.
toward the
Towards
next
it.
episode. I think that's a way to sign off, don't you guys? It's time to go.
Hell of a
Good
way.
night, everybody.
Thank you for joining us here on the We Can't Wrestle podcast. Join us next week as we will continue our trek through the PWI 500 from 1994. We'll see you next week.
It's only gonna get worse, better, everybody.
Light one up for your cataracts.
everybody.